Playoffs? Don't talk about it. Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? I just hope we can win a game.
What's going on, guys? LoganJYA, Drytron back at it again. I tell you, I'm really excited for this video because we have a lot to look forward to as Drytron players, and that main thing we're looking towards is the Photon Hypernova set. That's right, when that joint drops, our deck becomes infinitely more powerful. Some could say that we're even going to creep right on back into the metagame. Now, of course, that's going to depend on future ban list hits, what that Tirashizu looking like it's doing, but I'm very, very confident in this new strategy. So, as we look ahead, I want to take a moment with this video to show you guys a few different combo tutorials which we can use with our new toy from Photon Hypernova, our boy Dynamond, and it is going to be absolutely insane. So stick around to the end of the video if you want to see my full deck list. I'm going to do a quick explanation with it, and maybe we'll even do a future profile with it as things come a bit more certain. And there are other toys that we can play with from Photon Hypernova, so if you want to see videos with those, be sure to smash the like button, subscribe for more content, all that good stuff. We still have the Twitter giveaway going on till the end of this month, so be sure to slide over there, follow the Twitter account, like the tweet, retweet the tweet, and you're entered in to win a 2022 Megaton 100% free of charge as a thank you to you guys. And we're going to be doing another giveaway for the holiday season as we approach December. So stay hyped, stay excited, guys. We got a lot of good stuff coming. Drytron is not dead, and this video is going to be proof of it. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, homies, you already know how we be starting things off with an Alpha Zeta line. I'm going to show you guys how to do this as safe as you possibly can, knowing and recognizing the fact that we're still open to several bestial checkpoints. Choke points. We're open to a lot of bestial choke points with this particular line, but it does still facilitate your full combo, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now with these two cards. Imagine that the other three cards in your hands are things that'll let you circumvent this strategy, but without further ado, let's dive right on into it. So obviously, you're going to start things off with Alpha Pitch Zeta, grab Ben 10. Zeta's going to pitch Ben 10 from the grave, grabbing yourself Meteonis, and Ben 10 will then search a Diviner. Next, you're going to overlay the 2 for Moy Beta. Moy Beta is going to send Gamma here, your Meteonis back that Ben 10 100% like so. Now we will use that Gamma Engrave, sacking off the Ben 10 on the field and grabbing ourselves a second copy with that Ben 10's effect. We'll normal summon the Diviner, send the Herald, and then grab ourselves the Chaos Max. Now the reason why I like to start off with the Moy Beta rather than normal summoning the Diviner is that if we are stopped on the Moy Beta with an Imperm, with a Veil, or with whatever it may be, we can use the Diviner to play into a different end board without being 100% stopped. So if we were to search a Ben 10 in the slot of the Diviner, and then our Moy Beta was to get negated, that put us in a bit of a sticky situation, but just flagging that there. So we then take that Moy Beta that was on field, detaching its material and using itself to summon out the Magician of Black Chaos Max, which we search off the Herald we sent off Diviner, and then moving on from here, I actually do use the Chaos Max effect, attributing off the Gamma, specifically the Gamma, to clear off the board, and you'll see why in a minute. Then we'll use the Chaos Max and the other name we had left to summon the Dynamond. Now that the Dynamond is on the field, it actually has two really cool effects. We're going to be using the first one in this particular demonstration to target a card on the field and a ritual monster in the graveyard and shuffle them both back into the deck. So we're actually going to be shuffling back a Ben 10 from earlier as well as the Diviner on field. And why are we doing that? Well, I'm going to tell you why. Because now the only monster on our field is the Dynamond, which means if our opponent is to happen to top deck a bestial monster, they will not be able to snipe out our Chaos Max on their turn, because the Dynamond will tribute itself for cost to summon back the Chaos Max, making there no possible way for them to bestial one of our monsters. And if they try and get cheeky with it, go for it first, you can just chain Dynamond's effect, because during the opponent's turn at any time, its ability to bring back that Chaos Max is a quick effect. You will then use the Chaos Max on field, tributing itself, and locking your opponent out of monster effects. Now, let's look at the pros and cons here. Obviously, one major con is your board is 100% empty. But how much is your opponent really going to be able to do without any monster effects? I can think of a few niche circumstances where maybe someone would be able to kill you, but you should be able to live more oftentimes than not. And maybe that added safety of not losing to the top deck bestial monster is 100% worth it. And on top of that, you have guaranteed follow-up, baby. Look at this. We've got 3 names engraved, locked and loaded, ready to go, and a Ben 10 in hand that is going to be rocking and rolling with us, able to play next turn after we successfully locked out our opponent. This play is going to be absolutely diabolical, folks, but I've got 2 more combos I want to show you guys. The next one's going to be doing it with 1 name plus Ben 10, and then the last one is going to be doing it as safe as possible while lining up an orange light. So without further ado, let's get into the next one. Alright guys, for our next combo, we are doing a one-name hand with Ben 10 access. Does still facilitate the full combo, same exact play. So without further ado, let me show you how it's done. And it's going to be pretty similar to the one-name combos we've done in the past, as all of them tend to be. But Zeta is going to pitch off that Ben 10, grabbing us Medionis, and then we're going to use the Ben 10 to search the Diviner. Very important. The Diviner will then send the Herald of the Arclight, and this Arclight is going to search you another copy of Ben 10. We'll use the Medionis, bring back that Ben 10 from grave, and overlay for Beatrice. Beatrice is our main one-name hand combo enabler, as I'm sure you all are aware. We'll use that Beatrice to send Gamma. Gamma will pitch the Ben 10 from hand, summoning back itself and the Zeta we used earlier, and then the Ben 10 will search another Ben 10. Moving on from here, we'll use Medionis, reduce, add back, overlay for the Moy Beta, and the Moy Beta will send the Alpha at this point. We'll use the Alpha, pitching the Ben 10, grabbing ourselves the Chaos Max, and I grab a Natasha here for additional guaranteed follow-ups. Since we will have live names engraved, we want to make sure we have a ritual monster in hand that we can definitely sack to play with Drytron cards after turn 2. So moving on from here, we'll go Medionis to summon out that Chaos Max, use its effect to clear off the board, and here I'm going to point something out with this particular end board, right? So if you wanted to, like we did in the last combo, you could use the Dynamon's effect, shuffle back the Beatrice and any ritual monster from the graveyard, and that will set you up for safety from a top deck bestial monster. But if you choose not to and leave the Beatrice on the field, what you can actually do here is send a Medora from your deck to the graveyard, if these cards are still legal, of course, assuming this, that when Photon Hypernova is out, that maybe one of the best, maybe one of the Ishizu cards that's a shuffle boy is still around. Hopefully it's not for our intents and purposes, but I mean, if it is, we can leave the Beatrice on field, send a Medora on the opponent's turn, which gives us that cool little DD Crow effect for 3, or Cycle Reader effect, whatever you'd prefer to say, for 3, and then we can use the Dynamon to tribute, summon back the Chaos Max, and we could actually tribute the Beatrice if we wanted to, if we left it on field. But again, we could do the same line that we did with the last combo if you wanted to play that particular safe line. It all depends on the matchup. It depends on what you're feeling. You can do whatever you so desire, but I want to show you guys a couple more options. Now for our last combo, I'm going to show you kind of how to do it and line up an orange light if with a particular 3 name hand or a 3 card combo. So without further ado, let's get into that one. Alright guys, the last combo tutorial I'm going to show you is the 3 card combo, and this is basically doing the line as safe as you can. Opening Alpha Zeta plus Ben 10, as we all know, is absolutely cracked, but I'm going to show you how you can play this combo out as safe as possible, even when they put our gosh darn orange light to 1, those evil creatures. It's okay, I'll get over it. We're going to go Alpha, pitch Ben 10, of course, and Ben 10 is going to search a copy of orange light, while Alpha searches our second Ben 10 for the rest of the combo. Zeta will then pitch off that Ben 10 and then grab us Medionis, and Ben 10 will search Diviner. We'll then overlay our guys, summon Moy Beta sing Gamma. All this is looking pretty familiar. Where we change it up a little bit here, though, is that we're going to go for the Medionis, bring back the Ben 10 here, and then we're going to use the Gamma effect, tribute it off, doing this all a little bit early this time while we're keeping our orange light live. Then we'll Medionis, reduce, add back, and now, since we still have the orange light locked and loaded with the Ben 10, we can safely normal summon our Diviner and continue to play. Sending the Herald, grabbing the Chaos Max, and then this is going to look very similar to earlier. We successfully summon the Chaos Max. Here, since we have the extra bodies, I might as well just leave them on field and summon an IP. Now, again, with that previous end board of having the IP and the Dynamond on field, when you use the Dynamond's effect and then end up tributing the Chaos Max for its own effect, the IP is kind of useless, 100% recognizing that fact. But what we can do is, if we wanted to, we can go into any link to it. It doesn't have to be IP. It could also be a unicorn or something else along those lines, is go into the Sprite Elf. And for example, let's just say, for the sake of argument, we got hit with a Bested monster, or an Ishizu monster, or a Tier Element monster was able to successfully ritual summon on our turn or something. Their opponent was able to summon a monster. We could go for the Sprite Elf and use that to bring back the Dynamond. So that is kind of a neat little thing, and the Dynamond is still live. And another cool thing is that when we bring back the Dynamond with Sprite Elf's effect, if we do it on the opponent's turn, we can take advantage of its cool first effect to shuffle back a card on the field as well as a ritual from our graveyard. So there is no shortage of awesome things that you can do with these particular combos. It all just depends how you want to play out the particular turn. I wanted to show you guys this, but of course you know after this point you can use the Dynamond, tag it out for the Chaos Max, sack off the Chaos Max, and lock them out of monster effects. There is a lot of things you can do, and the Dynamond is going to be such a cool toy to play around with once we get it in Photon Hypernova. I'm going to wrap this up with a quick showcase of my deck list. It's also going to be available for download in the description down below if you want to check that out. But without further ado, let's bring this video to a close and I'll show you guys this deck list. Alright guys, so obviously as you're looking at this deck list, this implies no changes on the ban list as it currently is as of December 1st. But hopefully, there'll be some hits to those Ishizu cards and those Bestial cards, getting them out of our way, so we're able to curb stomp our opponents even harder. But take a look at this list, guys. We have it consolidated down to 40 cards to be as consistent as possible. We have as many countermeasures locked and loaded into the main deck as possible to deal with the Ishizus, to deal with the Bestials. And I think that this build is particularly viable because if we were still to be playing into those Ishizu cards, they actually can help us by milling things like the Chaos Max, making it so we don't have to spend a search on it. And we also stay ready because we're locked and loaded with a second copy of Meteonis and a second copy of Diviner if they were to get milled. But I'll run through the build real quick. Again, it's available for download for you guys in the description so you can test as well. But without further ado, let's give it a quick rundown. Of course, we got triple alpha, triple zeta. I'm doing 2 gamma in this build, 1 delta, and 1 beta Rastaban. Originally in this build, I was testing with Pot of Prosperity. I've since cut it, but you could easily beef up the delta to 2 if you did not want to play the beta. But we do still play the beta as a countermeasure to the Bestials and as a resiliency card and a piece of the toolbox and our 5th name. 2 Diviners, I already explained why on that one, and the 1 Orange Light, which is at 1 now. Again, we are the indirect victims of another Konami biff in the ban list, but hey, it is what it is. We got triple copies of Ben 10, 1 Natasha, 1 Meteonis Draconids, and of course our boy Chaos Max, our main win condition in this particular line. Like I said, we're staying ready with those countermeasures, so we got those Ghost Spells locked and loaded in the main deck to counter our opponent's Bestials, counter things like Call by the Grave, the Ishizu cards trying to shuffle stuff out. We try and stay as ready as we can. That's why we're main decking the Bell this time round. And the 1 of Medora for that little interaction I showed you earlier where you can set it off the Beatrice as an additional form of interruption. We got the 1 Called by the Grave and the Instant Fusion this time, which goes along with our boy Millennium Eyes. Think about these kind of serving the same purpose, just to give us resiliency through hand traps, guarantee safety for our first turn combo. Triple Cyber Emergency, double Fafnir, double Nova, triple copies of Forbidden Droplet, triple copies of Triple Tactics Talents, and then I am doing the 2 Meteonis Draconids, just in case either one gets milled or one gets banished by a runic card. There's a lot of reasons why it makes sense to play 2, and given in this build that I was trying to keep it consolidated and as safe as possible, really just going for that one particular play line with the Dynamond, I felt it made sense to put in the second copy this time around. But I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments down below. Side deck is pretty simple stuff. I've got the triple Lava Golem. I've got a full Bestial package of 5 here with 2 Magnamut, 2 Druis Worm, and 1 Saronir, and 1 Lancia, of course, for those Flunderies, those nasty, nasty creatures. Triple Cosmic Cyclone for those back row decks, and triple copies of Evenly Matched for pretty much anything else on top of that. In the extra deck, it's pretty simple stuff here. We got the Entis, the Arclight, the Beatrice, the Zeus Downer, Double My Beta, Apollosa, Bing chilling with our Boral Sword, Dynamond, our boy, the brand new homie who's going to be joining us when Photon Hypernova comes out, the IP Masquerina, the Sprite Elf, the Nightmare Phoenix for popping them back rows, the Anima, which pairs so nicely with that beautiful Lava Golem, and our homie Millennium Eyes Restrict to tag in with the Instant Fusion. Guys, let me know in the comment section down below, how excited are you for Photon Hypernova to come out? Because I know I'm hyped to play with these new toys. I'm going to close it out here. LoganJYA, Drytron signing off. Have a great day, and I will see you chumps later. Peace.